your trusted guide in the world of U.S. immigration. We provide clear immigration news and insights, and connect you with experienced attorneys who can guide you through the process. From visas to green cards, asylums to citizenships, we help you find the right legal expertise so that you can move forward with confidence. Sign up today or download the app. Free registration, limited time offer. Stay tuned. We go live in 30 seconds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live webinar brought to you by immigrationquestion.com, a networking platform and meeting ground where individuals can engage, learn, and interact with licensed immigration attorneys. My name is Max Castro, and I'll be your host for today's critical discussion, Work Visas Under Pressure, How New Regulations Affect Global Talent Mobility. Across the United States, employment-based immigration is facing new challenges. Stricter regulations, higher compliance demands, and evolving visa requirements are placing added pressure on both employers and foreign professionals who depend on U.S. work visas. For companies, these changes bring questions about compliance, recruitment, and long-term workforce planning. For skilled professionals, they raise concerns about stability, renewals, and career continuities in shifting legal environments. Today's discussion will be examine how recent policy updates and influencing global mobility programs from H-1B and L visas to intra-company transfers, and how both employers and professionals can stay informed while adapting responsibly. Today, we are joined by Attorney Naresh M. Gehi. Attorney Gehi is a distinguished New York-based immigration and trial lawyer and founder of Gehi and Associates, with over 20,000 cases successfully handled. A member of the AILA Federation Litigation Committee and a recipient of Super Lawyers and Lawyers of Distinction honors. He's a frequent legal commentator on CNN, BBC, and Reuters. Mr. Gehi also advises the president of Suriname on immigration reform, earning him the honorary title of Honorable. You're welcome, Attorney Gehi. We're thrilled to have you join us today.
It's a pleasure being with you, Max. You're doing a fabulous job. That's how I need to begin today.
Thank you,
job
Mr. Gehi.
Of immigration question. Hats off to every member in this team for the work they do, and they are the unsung heroes. And we need to recognize the people behind the scenes who are doing such a fabulous job. So, in a sense, as a founder, with your teamwork, what I liked is that you all have expanded into sending newsletters, these great, breaking news, and plus these webinars are actually a game changer in the profession, which is very much needed, because it's the media that can educate everyone in this nation, especially regarding the value of immigration. People always forget this golden saying that America is a country that has been built by immigrants, and we need to carry on this tradition of excellence wherein we have the right talent and make sure that America is always on the forefront of technology and in every front in the world.
Thank you very much, Attorney Gehi. Before we begin, an important reminder, immigrationquestion.com is not a law firm and does not provide legal advice, guidance, or representation. This platform serves as a public meeting ground where individuals can learn about immigration topics and interact with licensed immigration attorneys who participate independently. Let's dive right in. Attorney Gehi, to start, could you explain how current U.S. immigration regulations are evolving from employment-based visas like H-1B, L-1, and intra-company transfers, and what are the main policy changes shaping today's global mobility landscape?
Firstly, I must say that the immigration environment in the United States, it's just getting from bad to worse. And it's not a good kind of situation to be in. And let's take everything step by step. And the best way to structure the program today is to give people options, what they need to do, how they need to protect the legal status, what are we going to see in the near future, and what does it look for corporations, and how the entire situation looks like for beneficiaries, which means people who benefit from work visa programs. So let's divide this into two parts. First is we are going to talk about employers, how they benefit and how they're going to lose out because of the work visa program next. So, the first question is, as an employer, when you don't have the right talent in the nation, the problem is that it's going to be a big loss to American companies. Now, the administration needs to look at both the ends of the spectrum. But the sad reality is they're only looking at the downside of immigration. They're not looking at the upside of immigration in the United States. So we don't live in a perfect world. When our leaders say that I want to have a system where nobody cheats and the H-1B program should be a 100% bulletproof program, it is like asking for the moon. Show me one program in America or in the world which is 100% perfect. None of them are. But the problem is that the critics of the program are trying to find a needle from a haystack to shut down the program. And that is going to be a death blow to the economy of the United States. The $100,000 penalty, it's a penalty. I would call it a penalty. It's not a fee. Because in legal terms, when an amount is exorbitant, it's considered to be a penalty, not a fee. If you ask the top legal scholars in the country, they will fully agree with me. It cannot be called a fee, it is a penalty in indirect terms. And that is going to kind of kill the economy in the United States. So, what are the problems and what are the solutions? The number one problem that we are facing right now is the $100,000 penalty. Now, what can corporations do about it? And what I have been doing for corporations. There are some corporations in America who are very much dependent on H-1B workers, and some of them are American companies. So, what I've been doing for a lot of American companies, I've been helping them to set up a branch office in India. So, what happens is your dependency on the program can be minimized. So, example, you're an American company, you don't know anybody in India, come to us. We will set up your entire enterprise in India from soup to nuts. And once you have that, you start placing employees there. And if they're in high positions, they can come to America under the L1A or the L1B visa program. So you don't have to worry about the H1B program. Take an example. You're a company in Pennsylvania. And if you are a company in California, you don't know anything about India, we will get you there. We can set you up completely there. It's going to take a year. But right now, the good thing is you're going to get two bites of the apple. Number one is if the H1B program is normalized and if the $100,000 fee is kind of thrown out by the courts, the good thing is that at least you have that one bite of the apple back, the H1B bite. But if that stays put for some time, you can at least start thinking about growing your company by having a backup option by looking at the L1A and the L1B. So this is something that most employers are actually lacking. Starting a branch office abroad, having employees there. It can be the Philippines, it can be India, it can be Canada. That entire consulting is missing. And they're just kind of basically keeping all the eggs in one basket, but thinking about the H1B. That is wrong. Rule number one. So that's why corporations can change. Second thing is corporations should educate their employees regarding the value of the O1 visa. That is an untapped market, which means you're hiring somebody, hire people who are exceptional, people who have publications, people who are on top of the game. Consider the O1 visa for them, so you don't have to worry about the H1B visa. Too much dependency on the H1B visa. That's number two. Third thing is, in some cases, when you're an employee who's on a student visa, allow the 3-year OPT person to stay with you. That's a great asset in STEM. So during the 3 years, you can try to either get him on an H-1B or look for an O visa, or if the person is from a country other than India or China, go for the direct green card process. That may be a possibility. These are things that companies need to start talking about. The reason why some companies prefer the H-1B is it goes on forever and ever and ever, and nobody worries about it. It is time that companies start talking about it, Max.
Thank you, Attorney Gehi. And many employers are also concerned about increased compliance obligations and the administrative burden of sponsorship. What practical measures can organizations take to remain compliant while continuing to attract international talent?
Now, those are big problems with some of these employers. They need to make sure that the books are in order. They need to make sure that the employees are getting paid. Make sure that if there's any issue, they deal with the right attorneys. And rule number one: never talk to an immigration officer because you have the right to have a lawyer present. Let the lawyer do the talking. That is the right way to do things. And most companies have this habit of talking to them, having the HR give the books and all. That's not the right strategy. That is not the right approach. Let an attorney do the job. Let them also, another thing they need to do is to have a lawyer conduct an audit of the company, because that is something that's going to help the company to grow, keeping your books intact, making sure that you're crossing all the I's and the T's. That is known as compliance, Max, which is very much missing in a lot of companies that hire H-1B employees.
Thank you, Attorney. And for professionals already working in the US or seeking opportunities here, how might these regulatory changes affect their visa renewals, status maintenance, or long term planning or permanent residency?
See, let me tell you about this simple example. Some of these people working for Fortune 500, for example, for these top companies, and a very high regard for Google and all these companies, they're absolutely brilliant people. The employees and everything. They need to explore other ways of getting the green card because they've already made it so big. Some of them are inventors, some of them are patents. Those people need to start thinking about going for the national interest waiver. Of course, the bar is very high. It's not easy. You get a 3 or 4 page biography means you're not good. It's not as simple as people think, oh my God, I can write 3 articles and get my EB-1A. It's not a walk in the park. And if your record gets blemished, that's another bad thing because it stays on your record. Always have a clean record when you're dealing with immigration. That's my first mantra. And what do you do in these cases? Never rush. There's a very good saying in English: haste makes waste. And the problem with some of them, oh, I want to go for my EB-1A right away. I want to go for my O visa. You're wrong. Take your time. Make sure do not fight against the wind. Rule number two: work with an experienced lawyer. And some of these IT people I've met, some of them are from great institutions like MIT. Some of them are from Carnegie Mellon. They have those high-end credentials, but they are stuck with the EB-3, with the EB-2, because they are not consulting the right lawyers for the national interest waiver or for the EB-1A. Depends. And then a lawyer has to craft a plan, and he has to actually work with that candidate for a year and a half to make sure whether they're crossing the I's and the T's. And they need to look at options. So take an example. If I'm a well-known doctor right now, and what can I do? First thing is major publications, not those regular publications. Work with a lawyer who will tell you this looks good, this doesn't look good. Screening tests. Outstanding awards, number 2 in the profession. And you should be known for your work. A lawyer can work with you with the EB-1A. Now, a simple example, right? You're working for this Fortune 500 company. You've been on an H1 for 5 years now, or 4.5 years, and your time is Your priority date is backed up by 15 or 16 years, which is normal for India. Bottom line is start speaking with an expert lawyer of your choice who can think whether there's a possibility to convert it into an EB1A, or whether there's a possibility to convert it into an O, or whether it's a national interest waiver. Those things involve a lot of time and attention, and you don't even need a sponsor for that. Work on those issues. That is critically important. And that is what is not happening. Most of these H1B employees, they are bullheaded. When they're working for big companies, I'm talking about them. Medium companies, it is hard to get EB1As. We've done it, but it's really hard. But they have it already. So the pie is already there when you're working for a big company. But the question is, they don't know how to kind of get through. That's why we come in, we talk to them, we help them, and we look at the EB1A route or the national interest waiver route or the O visa route for them. So that's how you can kind of, sidestep from the problem that they're having with the H1B visa program.
Thank you, Attorney. And for global mobility, it's critical for multinational corporations. How could tighter regulations influence intra-company transfers and the ability of companies to deploy key personnel across borders efficiently?
So that's what I said. All these big companies are basically not taking the right steps. Now, for a company, what I did recently, they said that they want to have a backup plan, for the H1B. You know what I did? I told them, how about this? I can set up your entire infrastructure in India or in some other country for you. So all your work will be done there because I have a very strong background in information technology, Max, and I have a very strong background in law. So what I'm doing is helping these companies to start an office abroad, a satellite office, wherein they literally feel that their employees are working over there. And it's not that hard. So do not keep all your eggs in one basket. Start looking at opportunities wherein you work with a lawyer who knows technology, who knows the law. That's what I bring to the table. And then we start your office abroad and he's working for you over there. And that's how you can bypass the entire H1B program. And what are you paying? Peanuts to get a job done? So if people in America are crying about the H1B program, what can you do? You'll have to have workers abroad because if a company shuts down, imagine the damage it can cost in billions of dollars to the US economy. That is one thing everyone needs to think. That's why I'm a big fan of telling that, the politicians and the business mind should come together and find a middle ground to resolve the immigration issue once for all. America cannot live without talent. And if you're going to shut down the talent, this country will be losing out badly because the UK started taking talent. You'll be surprised. China has introduced a new H1B program, similar to the H1B program. And people are going there. So do we want to lose out on these great minds who have made America great? Elon Musk is a fine example. He used the H1B program. People who work for Google big time, they've used the H1B program. Do we want to lose that talent? So the balancing test, of course, I'm saying there might be abuse in the program. I'm not saying no, but you have to look at the meat and the potatoes of the program. And people, small companies that are violating it, of course, there should be penalties upon them. Get rid of the bad actors. But my question is, why punish the good actors? No one is talking about the good actors. People are looking at a needle from a haystack and pointing, hey, I know this abuse happened. Punish him. But why the entire program? Why? Look at the amount of money H1B visa holders are paying in taxes in this country. Look at the benefits they are getting you in the system. Look at the spendings they are doing in the US. Why are people not talking about that aspect of the H1B program? And yes, people are saying, oh, yeah, H1B visa holders take our jobs. And 90% of it is in the IT industry. The informational technology industry is bigger than the Pacific Ocean. That's what I said in one of my writings. So when people were sitting on the H1B program and making decisions, they need to understand that it's difficult to find an employee, we call it, with the exact skill set. Skill set is the word. Oh, the first answer that comes in are 46 graduates who just came out from this university and they're without a job, they're Americans. My question is, does he have the skill set to immediately perform the job? 99% answer would be no. Because by the time you train that employee, the project is gone from the employer. People need to understand that. Of course, I want every American to have a job. I'm an American myself. But by the time we want to create this robust environment, it's going to take 10 years. But how are we going to survive for the next 10 years? There's a question here. How are we going to survive for these 10 years without having the right manpower? And nobody's talking about it because people don't have the expertise to talk on this issue. My background is computer science, law, and technology. So I understand technology and I am looking at the hiccups when I have to find a programmer with that skill set. Either the programmer is occupied with a very solid job and he's an American great guy, but he said, I don't think I can move, Mr. Gehi. I've had problems with that. Or if I move, I have a notice with my company for 6 months. Is my project going to be stranded for 6 months? Or do I need someone immediately? That's where the H1B visa has come in. It's a bridge the gap program. It bridges the gap for US employers because they're getting this employee who's abroad who has that direct skill set and he can come in and it's more like a turnkey operation wherein he gels immediately with the project and the project gets done. This is the gap that is not being explained properly in Congress. A very high respect for both the sides of the aisle. I'm a centrist, very high respect for Republicans and for Democrats. But the minds need to be opened up to understand, we need to deep dive and see the problem. Just by looking at the totality of circumstances without deep diving, you really cannot understand technology. This is what is missing. And this is where the work visas come in. And now what should employees do? Are you going to wait, sit and ponder and think, oh God, I don't know, I'm going to pray what's going to happen? No. If you are an employee on an H1B, my warning comes to you. Start looking for backups. Look at the investors visa program. Look at the E2. You may be eligible because some countries are eligible for the E1, E2. Invest. Start your company through the E2 visa program. India is not, and many countries, including the Philippines, I don't know, are not a part of the program. Third, look at the national interest waiver. If you're a researcher with a PhD, what are you waiting for if you're studying for a PhD? Become that hero. Started doing a PhD program. I tell people, the number one is if you're on your PhD, contact me. I'll be happy to help you to navigate the EB1A. PhD is the word I use. National interest waiver, PhD, amazing. Done it like this. 2 or 3 masters with X amount of thing, I can work with you. But those are the possibilities. It's not easy, but that is what is missing. Third, go abroad, work for the company there, come back after 1 year under the L1 visa program. Beggars can be choosers. That is the environment we are living in. Get married if you're single. Don't be picky. Oh, I don't like this guy. I don't like this woman. End of the day, you have to become practical when you want to get your green card here. And if you're a company, start having a branch office abroad. and don't be dependent on the program. But the good news is, Max, I was just reading some news. Uh, According to me, as I said in my earlier post on LinkedIn, this is my prediction and my personal analysis. Don't hold me to this. This 100,000 fee will be blocked by the courts, or they'll have to kind of change their minds and get rid of the fee, because it's not going to happen. It's just too much flack around it, but I don't see that it's going to materialize, before March. This is my personal analysis at this stage. And there was a case that was filed today by the US Chamber of Commerce. They said that this is something which is unacceptable. So a lot of things are happening in the meanwhile. But does it mean that if you're an employee on an H-1B, you're going to just sit tight and wait to see what's happening? If you're abroad, come on the O visa. Think about the O visa. Speak to employer. So there are ways around, but people need to work with the right law firms. Now, another important thing is always stay in status. Don't be out of status. It's not a good idea for people to take chances on this status.
Thank you for your input, Attorney Naresh. And to everyone joining us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and other platforms, thank you for being part of this critical discussion. Whether you're an employer managing global recruitment or a professional pursuing your U.S. career goals, today's session is designed to help you stay informed and plan in a rapidly changing immigration environment. If this is your first... Sorry, go ahead, Attorney.
Let me give them a closing statement here. And before that, I must thank Immigration Question for what they're doing. What a fabulous job. Firstly, of course, I'm the founder, but I'm talking on behalf of Gehi and Associates. Let me give the disclaimer clearly. I'm speaking on behalf of Gehi and Associates. That's the law firm. And it has no connection with the Immigration Question, but I'm the founder for disclaimer and clarification purposes. And anything on this program does not constitute legal advice unless and until an attorney-client agreement is entered into between my firm and between the particular viewer of the program. Now, in terms of my summation, before that, a big thank you to Immigration Question. You come a long way, and I cannot thank Immigration Question enough, because I've seen that I'm getting the publicity on this platform, and the app is wonderful. When I download the app, I get my breaking news, and I also see other lawyers who have been talking, and the app is fantastic. And I would recommend everyone to download the Immigration Question app on Android or on iOS. Download the app. It's free. Of course, you're not paying for it. You're getting access to breaking immigration news. Besides that, you can ask your immigration question. That's one thing I like. And you're more than 100 lawyers now. And just imagine, within 6 to 8 months, more than 100 lawyers have joined this program. And thanks to every lawyer who has joined it, who's actually contributing to your betterment. If you are a listener of this program, share the news to share this Immigration Question app, because you're also helping people to get news about immigration. And daily you'll get breaking news about immigration. And plus, you can ask your immigration attorney, any question over here of your choice, the question of your choice. And they also have live representatives to help you. And above all, you can post your question free, download the app free, and get an answer to your question. Ask your questions by downloading the app on immigrationquestion.com. That's my message to the viewers today. And because I may also answer your question. There are other lawyers who may answer. You have some great lawyers over there, and they may come up and say, you know what, I love this question, I want to answer. Spread the message, spread the app, because though you're not helping yourself, you're helping another person who's in need of getting a simple answer to the question. And what I like about immigrationquestion.com, it's everything under one roof. I'll explain it why everything is under one roof over here. Because you're getting immigration news, you're getting the ability to ask a question of any type, you're getting the ability to choose a lawyer that you like from anywhere in the United States, and you can even handpick the lawyer you want. and make a decision whether they want to proceed. This simple download and asking questions will also help you to resolve your immigration matter and may even help you to get your green card faster. And if you're out of status, hallelujah, you may become legal by asking questions. Visit the website of immigrationquestion.com or download the app. That's the first thing I would say. But fabulous job by the entire team. And thank you so much for having me. And my message to everyone, especially people who are worried about the legal status. Students, number one, think about the O visa. Secondly, get married. Number two. Third, think about the investor visa program, which is really good for you. Through the investor, you can qualify for the green card directly. And, it's not that hard. We've been helping a lot of people on H-1Bs to look at the investor visa program. And if you're from a country wherein you have a possibility for the E1 or the E2 visa, go for the E1, E2, which is much better and simpler. Think about the O visa. And if you're stuck on the H1B for the longest time, and if you work for a big corporate, talk to us. We will consider and see whether you can qualify for the EB1A and come out of the problem of the national interest waiver. So this is Attorney Gehi with Max Castro. Fantastic job, Max, and fantastic job by the entire team. Cannot thank all the people in this group who've been a part of this thing. Thanks to every single hero who's behind the scene and who's making this happen. Thank you, everybody. And Max will continue, and she'll let you know about the next session. Don't forget to subscribe to this program, like it, and pass on the message. Download the app and start asking your questions. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Attorney Gehi, for sharing your insight on this crucial topic. And your discussion of how shifting regulations are shaping global talent mobility has provided practical clarity for both businesses and professionals navigating today's complex environment. And to all our viewers, thank you for joining us. We hope today's session has helped you understand what's changing, what's at stake, and how to stay informed as you plan your next steps. Remember, you can always visit immigrationquestion.com to ask your immigration questions for free and connect directly with a licensed immigration attorney. You may even qualify for a free confidential consultation. If you'd like, you can also revisit today's webinar and share it with your colleagues or community. The full replay will soon be available on Spotify. Just search Borderless Talk by immigrationquestion.com. Join us again next week for another timely and in-depth discussion on immigration trends and solutions that are shaping the future of America's workforce. Once again, thank you, Attorney Gehi, and to everyone watching. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected, and stay engaged.